Hey party people. So today I'm going to make a cheesecake from scratch. So what you're going to need is 4 bricks of cream cheese. Philadelphia cream cheese is the one I use. Feel free to use whatever. I just know all cream cheese isn't created equal. So that's the one that I use. I've already started creaming it. So, but I needed to make this part of the video. Um, Normally I just make a regular New York style cheesecake. But this year I decided I want a raspberry white chocolate one. So I got a stick of, I don't know if you call this a stick, but a package of Gary Deli white chocolate. And then I got 4 packs of raspberries. Raspberries are a little expensive these days, but for whatever reason, yesterday they were on sale for like $1.99. Like you had to clip some sort of coupon at Kroger. So I bought 4 just to be on the safe side because I want to put them around the cheesecake. And make the top of the cheesecake really pretty. But also I need some to make it the white chocolate raspberry swirl. So that's why I have 4 of these. Other notable items you will need for this cheesecake is you need not a pint, this little thing of sour cream. You could try to squeeze in or measure out, just get this little, I think it's 8 ounces. That way it's always perfect. Okay, because my husband has like some squeezable sour cream, and you can do all of that, but this is what I use, and it comes out perfect every single time. You're gonna need vanilla extract, but I don't have any, so I'm using vanilla paste. They do the same thing. You're gonna need 3 tablespoons of flour that you're gonna add to the cheesecake. It just kind of helps stabilize the cheesecake. You're gonna need 3 eggs. I've already cracked 3 eggs here. You're gonna need 1 1/3 cup of sugar. The cup of sugar is gonna go into the cheesecake. The third of sugar is gonna go into the graham cracker crust. You're gonna beat these all and crumble them all up so that they have a fine granulated feel to them. And you're gonna add that cup of not cup, but the third cup of sugar to this, and I would say a stick of butter. If you use too much butter, it will be kind of wet, and you don't want that. You want your crust to be good. So if that happens, just add more graham crackers to it. If it is too dry, add more butter because it needs to stick together. And you should be able, how you know it's right, if you pick it up in your hand and squeeze it and it stays together, then it's right. If it falls apart, it's too dry. No, if it won't make the ball in your hand or whatever, then that means it's too wet. If it won't even come up, then it's too dry. And then you're gonna need a spring-form pan. It looks like this, and it has this bottom part that goes in it, right? And it has a little click on the side to close it, right? When you put the little bottom part in it, that closes. But here's the thing about cheesecake, good cheesecake, New York style cheesecake from scratch. If you don't want it to crack or be dry and extra dense, then you need to put it in a springform pan and you need to bake it, but it must be baked in a water bath. So that means whatever size your cheesecake springform pan is, it needs to be able to fit inside of another oven safe pot, I would say. Like probably one of those big turkey pots that people cook turkeys in, something like that. Or maybe they put their dressing in it or something like that. Fill that most of the way up with water. I would say about halfway up with the water. And then you're gonna, normally what I do is before I put the graham cracker crust inside of the springform pan, I put foil on the bottom, like 3-4 layers of foil. And I used to do that a lot. And then even then, sometimes the water would seep through. Sometimes. And it wouldn't be the end of the world because the cheesecake is fabulous and everybody's going to eat it any goddamn way, right? But what I learned over the years is just, you can still put it in that water bag, but just get some of these oven-safe bags. And so you're going to put the cheesecake inside of that bag. You're not going to close it or anything like that. You're going to leave it open because you need the steam of the water. That's going to help it to not crack and not dry out. But putting it in this bag means no water is going to get into your crust. And that is perfection. So remember to get the oven safe bags. And this size, you could fit a turkey. So your cheesecake pan should be able to fit in there. And then I have cornstarch. I've never made a raspberry cheesecake, but today's the day, okay? And the recipe that I'm using calls for cornstarch. And I'm sure that's to make some sort of... cornstarch is used to thicken things. So I'm sure it's going to make some sort of glaze or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's usually what it's going to do. It's going to thicken it, and then you can add it to the cheesecake, and it'll be fine. The graham crackers, I think we talked about already, but you could use graham crackers. You could use, what's my favorite cookie? Biscoff. You could use vanilla wafers. You could use Oreos. Just take the cream out. But whatever cookie, you know, that you like. You could use ginger cookies, whatever it is. Crunch them up. And then that'll be it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So right now I have the cream cheese inside of this. Let's see if I can. Okay, so but it's looking rather thick, and that's because cream cheese is thick. But I can promise you, if you make this cheesecake at home, everybody gonna love you. Okay, cheesecake isn't really a complex, I wouldn't say it's a complex thing to do, but you have to do everything right. You have to do everything right. And you have to make sure that you follow directions. If you don't follow directions, then your cheesecake could come out dry, cracked, gritty, undercooked, overcooked, all kinds of different things. So just follow directions. So like I said first, everything must be room temperature or it's not going to mix well. Just is what it is. Okay? So, going to mix this up. And you don't want to over mix the cheesecake either. So while that's mixing, I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar, ladies. Next, I'm going to, hey, Mr. DJ. Yeah, I got my disco shirt on. Stop making fun of me. Okay, you're going to add these eggs one at a time. Nope, I'm just making a cheesecake. We're going to add our last egg. Alright, we're going to turn this off because A, we need to add our sour cream. And then the other thing we need to do is scrape down the bowl. You got to scrape down the bowl. If you don't scrape down the bowl, then you'll have, remember what I said about following directions? You got to follow directions and the cheesecake is fine. If you don't follow directions, you know, I can't do that. I can't help you past that. Okay? Again, everything needs to be room temperature that you're putting in a cheesecake. So your eggs need to sit out for several hours. Your sour cream needs to sit out for several hours. Your cream cheese needs to sit out. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's it. So we got this sour cream. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this bowl down, because we want to make sure, you know, everything was well incorporated. Now, let me just say, those people that be talking about that, girl, I made a cheesecake, and you ain't cook it in the oven and it don't involve eggs, you didn't make a cheesecake, sis. Okay? There is no such thing as no baked cheesecake. That whatever that is that's not of God. Okay? So I said what I said. If you know, you know. So yeah, anyway, you want to wipe down the sides of the bowl. I think I'm gonna get me a I think I'm gonna buy a clear mixing KitchenAid bowl, because I've seen the people down to the internet, you know what I'm saying, and they all have like clear bowls, and that makes it easier for the watcher to see what's going on. Otherwise, you know, I have to tilt the bowl and do all that kind of stuff to make sure you guys can see what's going on. And listen, if you follow my recipe, your cheesecake will come out great. But because everybody's stove is different, everybody may not have the same appliances, like a KitchenAid mixer. They may have a different type of mixer. And Joseph, hey Joseph Thomas. So because they may have a different type of mixture, it may mix slower. The stove may not heat the right way. So you have to take that into consideration. So what I would do is I would make this for my family first, and see what they say. If they like it, and you know, if they could be completely honest with you that it tastes good, it's not dry, whatever, then make it a few more times. And then the next Christmas or Thanksgiving, when you know you want to bring a dessert, you be like, yeah, I brought the cheesecake, and it's gonna all be gone. Now, if you don't make the cheesecake right, then it ain't all gonna be gone. It's gonna be like that lady, that auntie that can't cook, but she decided she was gonna put her foot in the macaroni and cheese. Yeah, she put her whole foot in there, right? And nobody ate it. Okay, so if no one eats your whatever it is that you brought, your dish, to the Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's or whatever it is, you probably need some more practice. And here's the thing about people. If you cook something and it tastes bad the first time, they really not probably gonna give you a second chance. So next Christmas, next Thanksgiving, next whatever, they're gonna be like, nah, stay away. People talk about you. They be like, stay away from Aunt Sue macaroni and cheese, or her broccoli cheese, right? Because it was mushy. Like, you don't want those type of problems. Because I ain't gonna tell you in your face. Well, some families will, but some families won't. So now I'm gonna add my sour cream. And yes, it's the whole thing of sour cream. And it's going to come out so creamy. It's going to be good. Don't skip on the sour cream. I'm telling you. Follow the directions that Chanel gives you. I ain't gonna lead you wrong. Alrighty, that's the end of that. So we're gonna turn the mixer on. We just want this to get incorporated. We're not trying to over mix. And put a little bit of powdered sugar. right. You're gonna add the vanilla. Who came in my house and closed the damn vanilla? Like, this way too much. This is vanilla paste. It does the same thing as vanilla. Now we're gonna add the flour. The flour is kind of like a binder. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this down one last time because we want to make sure the flour gets incorporated and that the powdered sugar gets well incorporated. I should probably mute this. Forgot I was on mute. Sorry, guys. But yeah, this smells really good. It smells sweet. So I've been asleep all day. Need to get my beauty rest. Just saying. Even though I'm using a hand mixer, I want to make sure that everything, is incorporated and there are no lumps of anything, left behind. Okay, so this is done for right now, but remember, we're making a raspberry cheesecake. I've never made the raspberry component, so I'll be back once I make that part. So we're just set this right here for now. And then I will be back once I've made the raspberry. I think I'll probably film some of that. But anyway, thanks guys for tuning in to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. I don't know if I showed y'all the cheesecake. So it looks good. It just doesn't have the raspberry part. It's coming. Talk to y'all later. Bye.